What is going on, party people? Famincio here, back at it once again with another entry in my E3 2017 wish list. Today it is time for the final entry in this wish list because E3 is one day away. It is tomorrow, boys and girls. The hype is real. I've been waiting for this day since the very beginning of this year, since the end of last year, honestly, and just having E3 in the back of my head ever since. And finally, it is time. Let's do this. Let's talk about the last game on the list. You already know what I'm talking about. I want to see I was gonna say a revival, but like, I guess technically it is a revival because it's been years since, you know, we've gotten a title, a proper title in this franchise. But I just want to see a new Metroid game on this bad boy. I want to see Metroid on the Switch. Now, there's two ways I would be okay with seeing Metroid in. There's two types of games, two genres that I wouldn't mind seeing Metroid in. And there's been some rumors circulating around. Honestly, I think this is probably the most likely to show up at E3. I think it really is. More so than Jet Set Radio, more so than Ape Escape, more so, probably definitely more so than Soul Calibur 6. I think this is the most likely. And the reason why is there's been some rumors. Reggie Fils-Aimé, he's been teasing some stuff, the CEO over here in America. Yeah, he's been teasing around a little bit, like, oh, well, you know, maybe eventually we'll get this and that, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, there's been some teasing. I think it is a necessary game for the Switch because of the graphical capabilities that the Switch can handle. I think that you can make a Metroid game look really, really good. Or I think a Metroid game has the opportunity to be the best looking game on the Switch. I think that's what I have to say. And also there's been some rumors about Rare possibly developing this game, making a Metroid Sidescroller game similar to Super Metroid. And that's what I wanted to talk about in this video, is there's two routes that I would like to see this franchise go into. So first things first, I wouldn't mind a Metroid Sidescroller. Of course, the original Metroid is a side-scroller, and Super Metroid, and there's a few other titles here and there, and I'm okay with that. I really am, as long as it's very intricate, as, say, the original. I want to see a Metroid that's difficult and hard, and very mazy, and very dark, and have, like, really intricately designed levels with, like, really beautiful backgrounds and stuff going on, you know, in the foreground and everything. I want to see something made beautifully, and I would be okay, oh my god, I would be without a doubt okay if they went hand-drawn in this new Metroid game. That would be absolutely wonderful, but I don't see Rare doing that, to be honest. I see Rare doing something similar to what they did with the Donkey Kong series with Tropical Freeze and Country Returns, or whatever it's called, which is just doing like 2D.1 or 2D 3D, what's it called again? I can't even remember when there's 3D characters moving in a 2D plane. I can't even remember what it was called. But I see them doing something similar to that. And that's okay as well, as long as the graphics are nice and refined. And as long as, again, I just want those backgrounds to be beautiful. Because I remember just seeing that game on the NES or the SNES and just being amazed of how beautiful the backgrounds look. Like, just seeing some of the detail that they put back there. Even 16-bit, you know, that's a lot of work. Now you have to top that even further with some crazy backgrounds. I want to see that happen. I want to see Ridley return in this game. I want to see a fight with Ridley in the 2D plane. I want just classic boss fights, power-ups and everything like that. I just want to see kind of like a classic Metroid game in this generation with modern graphics. And of course, you know, bringing back that 2D style. I am okay with that. I see that being more of a possibility than the next one I'm going to be talking about. I think it's more likely. I think it makes more sense, especially if the rumors are true and Rare is developing this game. I think it kind of works. And plus, recently Nintendo has kind of had trouble with Metroid, to be honest. I mean, look at the last Metroid game that has come out, Federation Force. Not fantastic. Not terrible, but definitely not fantastic. And the game before that, as long as my memory is on my side here, I'm pretty sure it was Metroid Other M, and I know for a fact that that game failed pretty hard. So I'm sure they're trying to rework a few things with this franchise, and they need to stay in one direction. They can't do what Other M did and like did a bunch of different things. Like, oh, let's make it a side-scroller and an FPS and a weird adventure game. And like, it was weird. You can't do that. You can't just be like, oh, well, we don't know where, like, how the game should be, so we'll just make it a, you know, multitude of ways. And then it just becomes a mess. It really, really does. I actually didn't hate the game because of the boring story. The really tropey, boring story, like that didn't bother me at all. I'm actually glad they took those chances, and I would be perfectly fine with them trying that again. That's okay with me. My problem was the gameplay. It was not fun at all. I mean, it was fun at first, but then it just became really clunky in the later on levels. So that was my problem with Other M. I do not want to see that return in you know, new Metroid games coming along in the future. The next type of Metroid game that I want to see is the more obvious one and the one that everybody wants. I want Metroid Prime 4, baby. I want to see this game happen. I mean, Metroid Prime was the first game I got for my GameCube. I remember I got this game for Christmas. It was a bundle. I had like the GameCube Platinum or the Silver GameCube, and it came with Metroid Prime 1, and it also came with a demo of Metroid Prime 2 Corruption. I believe that was what it was called. Corruption? I believe. I can't remember what the third one was called. The third one might have been Corruption. I can't remember. Or no, it was Echoes. It was Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. I remember it because it had like Samus, and that had like the Dark Samus in the background. That was a really cool box art. And it came with a demo for that, and I just played the hell out of the first game. Absolutely loved it. For a while, I didn't have a memory card for my GameCube, so I was just playing the first level over and over again because I was just always dying, and I couldn't, like, you know, go to a previous save. I had to just restart the whole game. Yeah, so it took me like a couple weeks to actually get a memory card for that thing. I don't know why my dad bought me this console and then didn't get me the memory card for like weeks later. I have no idea. But yeah, it was a really, really good game. I remember just being graphically, I was absolutely blown away. It was better than anything on any other console at that time because it was just really smooth. It was so smooth. I mean, most FPS games that we were seeing on other consoles were very jagged and sharp. And this was just very circular and smooth and still colorful at the same time. It blew me away. As a child, it really did. It blew me away. And I want to see one of those types of games return and blow me away once again. I want that game to push the visuals of the Nintendo Switch as far as possible. I want to see the Switch push to its limits. I think that Metroid is the game to do it. What I want to see in a Metroid Prime 4, though, I'm sure it'll be titled something different. I don't think it's actually going to be titled Metroid Prime. But what I want to see in a new Metroid game, an FPS Metroid game, is I want it to serve as Nintendo Switch's Halo. I want to see multiplayer in an FPS Metroid game. I think it makes sense because I think what they've done great with the Federation Force game is the multiplayer. I think that really works, but the 3DS itself doesn't have the most fantastic multiplayer. The Switch definitely has better multiplayer than the 3DS. Not much better, to be honest, but it does. And I think that if you had, like, PvP, Team Deathmatch, Capture the Flag in a Metroid game, I think that it would just add longevity to the game. I think that you could add DLC maps, you can add new, classes and weapons, and it gives yourself an idea for a franchise that you can continuously develop for. Look at the Halo games. We're talking about Halo 6 now. The 6th game is coming out, and it would be even more if, Microsoft developed these games further along, because I remember they stopped like after 3 for a few years. So I want to see Metroid become that for Nintendo. I think Nintendo needs that. They have Splatoon, they have ARMS, both great, fantastic online types of games. I played the ARMS beta, I really liked it. I played the Splatoon 2 beta, I really liked it. But I think Nintendo needs a more mature title for their more adult audiences. I really do. I think they need a more mature title for, people that want to play an FPS type of game. Because if we don't get third-party support like the new Call of Duty WW2 or, Battlefront 2, if those games don't show up on the Switch, which I'm almost positive they're not, I want to have a game that I can fall back on like Metroid Prime 4 that has online capabilities. I want to play online on a game. I want a typical type of shooter. I know this sounds so boring, but I just want a typical kind of shooter for the Nintendo Switch. I want to be able to play online and have like different classes, maybe have customizable characters where I can like, have a cool class where I have like a gun arm, I have like a cannon, I have rockets, and everyone can turn into like I can't even remember the name of this. It's been so long since I played. What is it called when Metroid turns into a ball? I know it's not called a ball form. I know it has like super or something. I can't remember. It's called something else. I'm just a shameful Nintendo fan because I don't know the name of that. But have it where everyone can turn into those and like bounce around and everything. You could have like all different kinds of modes. Like a capture the flag would be really cool. Everyone would start out and go into their sphere form and start rolling out. Like that would be really, really fun. And I think they could do a lot with that. Having like jetpacks and everything. You can make online in a Metroid game work beautifully, and I think Nintendo needs to do it. I really do. What else would I like to see is, honestly, I kind of liked the story in Other M. I know a lot of people dissed it. A lot of people didn't like the idea of Samus talking. That doesn't bother me at all. In fact, it doesn't make sense to why she wouldn't talk. Especially, I think Metroid, out of all of the Nintendo franchises, I think this one needs voice acting the most out of all of them. Although I really appreciated it in Breath of the Wild, I think it worked quite well. I want to see Metroid Prime 4 have a story mode. I sorry, I almost called her Metroid. Oh my god, I'm gonna get strung up here. It's been forever. Don't blame me, blame Nintendo. They don't make Metroid games anymore. I want to see Samus talk. I want to see her have a story. Maybe not make it as tropey and as heavy as Other M, where I was like, oh, Senpai didn't notice me. I'm such a nervous wreck. Like, please don't make it like that. That was really, really weird. I want to see Samus as a badass. I want to see her more tough and more, you know, in there. I want to see that kind of Samus. More cold and calculated, I think, is the type of character that Samus is, and have her dealing with other characters that are a part of her group, have her dealing with, like, space pirates, like, really hardcore, like, make it like a Mad Max kind of thing. Like, just make it wild, make it fun, make it, like, I don't really know. I just want to see a type of narrative for this game that excites people. I want to see a trailer that has voice acting in it, that it's not just a, just a tease of some visuals. I want to see this game happen, and again, I think it's a possibility. I don't know which one I want more. I think I want a Prime 4 more, to be honest. I would be totally down for Rare developing either, but I would be totally down for a side-scroller. I really would. I think that would work quite well, but I'm just kind of tired of side-scrollers in general. Nintendo has been pushing out a lot of them, and the only one to me that I would actually play out of all of these side-scrollers that have recently been released is a Metroid game, and I think that's the one that deserves a side-scrolling title the most out of all of these. More than Mario, in my opinion. But Nintendo really doesn't have an FPS on the Switch. I can't think of one first-person shooter on the Switch. I think there's several side-scrollers for the Switch. So I think Nintendo needs a first-person shooter, and I think it needs online multiplayer, I think it needs that story mode, and it needs fantastic visuals. So that is what I want to see on the Nintendo Switch, because this, honestly, I remember, like, I just remembered now, I actually put this in my predictions, in my Nintendo predictions video. I'll put that in the description below so you guys can check that out. Me and my good friend, Matthew, Phenom Sage, another YouTuber, we recorded that video together and just gave off like 6 or 7 predictions each, and this was one of them. I actually predicted this game, so this is not only a part of my Dreamtime wish list, it is also a prediction. I think we're going to get a small teaser trailer for this. I don't know if it's going to be a side-scroller, I don't know if it's going to be a first-person shooter, but I think we're going to see a glimpse of this game. I don't think Reggie BT's in this game for no reason. I think there's definitely something here. Fingers crossed. Please give me this game. I want it so bad. I guess we won't find out until the 13th. Maybe I'll get this for my birthday. That would be beautiful. But yes, E3 is here. That's pretty much it. That's all I have to say. That's all of my wishlist games. It took a little while to come up with all these. Because there were so many other games that I wanted to talk about. But I felt like these deserve the most shine, to be honest. Because nobody else was really talking about them. I think Metroid, I feel like, was the only one that everyone was kind of wanting. But the other titles like Ape Escape, Jet Set Radio, and Soul Calibur, I feel like nobody else was talking about those games or even wanting them. And the people that did respond in the Soul Calibur video, thank you very much for watching that. I feel like that one got the most views so far. And the biggest response. So I really appreciate that, guys. Thank you for commenting. Continue to comment, please. I love reading through that stuff. And also comment on this video. Let me know what you think of a Metroid revival. Okay, this is the question for you in the comments. Please answer this for me. Would you rather see a Metroid, Metroidvania style side-scroller that harkens back to the old days with beautiful, intricate graphics and just like really cool visuals and a really cool soundtrack? Just an awesome side-scroller. Would you rather see that, or would you rather see Metroid Prime 4, a beautiful FPS game that might possibly have an online mode where you can, PvP other people? Let me know in the comments below. If you have any other ideas as well, put them down there. Hit that like button if you enjoyed anything that I had to talk about today, and also please be sure to subscribe for... Oh my god, the E3 content is going to be here tomorrow. Get ready, everybody. Make sure to subscribe to catch all of our reactions to each and every single press conference, discussions on multiple games. If a Metroid gets announced, there's going to be tears rolling down this face. I'm not even joking. So make sure to subscribe. Click on that bell. You're going to want to know when these get out. And yeah, I think that is pretty much it. Again, thank you to everybody that has watched these wishlist videos. I'm going to put them all in the description below so you guys can check them all out. Please do so. I put a lot of work into these, and no one's watching them. I wasn't expecting anyone to be honest, because they're such obscure, games that not a lot of people have been talking about lately. But yeah, if you want to see a nerdy kid ramble on about a few games, click on the links down there and watch the other wishlist videos. They're really fun to do. I put a lot of work into them and a lot of heart. Yeah. Anyway, thank you for watching. Until next time, I will see you guys at E3. Bye-bye.